or maybe resilience, or
Persistence is good. I mean, look what it's done for you
great.
and me.
Here we are.
Here we go.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that?
Look at
We're
that.
live. Would look
We
at
are
it.
live and we're persistent. Today, we're talking a little bit about persistence. Oh my gosh. Give an example in your life that's paid off that you can think of one time. I
Well,
can,
let's have the viewers write down their all five
yeah,
of you. I'm looking for 5 comments by next week.
yeah,
Persistence.
persist.
Persistence is us being here
What?
for like 5 years and only having five viewers.
what have you, what have you done so far in your life that really paid off for doing it? I can give you one example. I played football when I was a kid, and now I wasn't that good. No, really wasn't that bad. I was pretty good. But what I got, persistence, I won most dedicated. So I went to every practice and I got beat up, by, just football. It just tears the body up. But when I went to a game and they had to wrap my legs in duct tape, and my knees in duct tape, and my ankles in duct tape every game, and it hurt. But I did it every single time, because I had injuries, and it paid off. And so I won a trophy. And then, like your life is probably the same thing. And then I went to college, and then I pretty much showed up to every class, and I won a scholarship in performance. And I won it over all these really, really talented people. And I think again, it wasn't that I really had all that talent. That they just said, if you want to make it, be like me. Every day show up. Every day before school started, I was outside the campus practicing, and I stayed till it closed every single day when I was in college. Not probably not every single day, but most days. Okay, I couldn't say I was 100%, but most days I got there. And then I won a scholarship, and again I was
Did you win a
another.
scholarship?
Yeah, that's what I said like 6 times, right? I won a scholarship. By golly, I
Wait a
won a
minute. Let me get
scholarship.
this straight.
It's called
Did you win a
persistence.
Did you win a scholarship?
I did.
It's funny to me because he's repeated this story in our conversations. I don't know how many times. So I find humor in that.
Yeah. Well, the persistence.
I do find humor in persistent jokes where you keep saying the same thing and then it gets old and then it gets funny again. I'm back to the it's funny again.
It might have happened like I don't know how many times in the last 5 years. It's probably too many to count.
Yeah. It's back to being funny.
Let's
No,
go back to you, Scott, for a second. You look
no,
at the
no.
persistence. Have what every day you get up and you work on your business,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and you can see it's paying off.
It's doing something, that's for sure. Yeah, I landed a goal that I've been working on for 5 years, which I haven't fulfilled the goal yet, but I think I'm gonna land it. So again, it's like you don't lose if you don't give up, right? Like you only fail if you quit. So that's the most important lesson I guess we would say for today. What have you been working on, Jeff?
Every day I work on sorting out the stuff I'm working on, letting go of in my life. And this is every single day I do this. Every single day I get up and I work on several projects. I work on the business. On entertainment. I send out information to my entertainers. I don't own them, but I hire them. They're 1099s. And I work on, believe it or not, my little coin business. I like that. It's a good hobby. And I work on that every day. Like I told you last week, I found 23 silver half dollars, which was fun. Uh, and
Yeah, I
silver,
went to go visit you and you got all these coins. It's like, oh my God, like there's no way I could hyper focus on something like that. Like you're just sitting there counting coins. I'm like,
I
hey,
did that
look at
with
this.
dollars. Remember, I went through 20,
I was
30,000
like, look at this
of
guy. He's
dollars.
so happy counting these freaking coins.
Well, I think it was because when I was a kid, I just didn't have as much money, so it's like
Sure.
uh find a quarter. And I can tell you that both of my coin collections when I was a kid were robbed and stolen from me. And so anyway, that's not a happy story. Yet persistence, even though someone stole my coin collection, I got another one. Even though someone stole the next one, I got another one. It's basically sticking into what's important to you uh, every day. And it does pay off. Persistence, and that's with everything. That's with what about all these master certificates we got? I mean, if we wouldn't have gone through these classes and we wouldn't have studied and we wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't have these stacks of, master certificates. Not that that matters. It really what matters is what you believe that matters to yourself. Because,
That is the crazy thing. Like, does it matter? Like, you go around and tell everybody, "Oh, I know how to do this," but but if they don't care, like,
well,
you
this is what,
gotta do it for yourself, right? Like,
right. Uh, we're working with somebody the other day. Um, Andre and we were working on this one person about, you know, finding they have to save their self before they can save the world. And, self concept, also, the belief in yourself, be your own best friend, all these kind of things uh, to get yourself where you're happy enough and you know that you're good enough that other people don't affect you. Like Scott, I am almost positive you don't get up every day and say, "What does somebody think about me?" No, you don't care. I mean, because you know who you are. It's not that you want to go hurt people or that you don't care for what they want to do. Yet, you know what you're on a path. You're going towards a goal. You're going towards your meaning and purpose. And when somebody says something stupid to you, you already know it's stupid and you don't really have to, you can just shun it off. Boom, boom, boom. But we don't get up every morning and live for the rest of the world. Now, not that we want to hurt the rest of the world, but we have to save ourselves and our beliefs and our system, and for we can have a good life, and then we can help the people around them have a better life. My example always is that if I wanted to be everybody's friend in the world, I would start shaking hands and I'd be dead before I got 2 or 3 months in with three diseases. I would be dead, and I wouldn't have been able to please half the world, and I never even shook everybody's hand. So you can't please everybody. You just can't do it. And it's not that you can't please everybody. You might as well please yourself. But it is kind of like that. You please yourself without working on hurting others. But don't live. But I don't like the word "don't." You might not want to live your life for everybody because if you do that, then you're not looking after yourself. And a lot of times, when a user knows that a user will use you, because a lot of us are givers, and I'm a giver but what we as givers have to do, if we don't, we have to set boundaries to say how much are we willing to give, because I found myself many, many, many times in my life um, regretting how much I gave. So be aware, takers take and givers give. Yet if you don't draw a line as a giver, you're kind of at fault too. So I know we went off persistence to
Yeah, I was about to say,
I know back to persistence, but become
steer, steer it back.
stir back. But it is still related to it because persistently
I
work
mean, like,
on who you want
Jeff,
to be every
come
day.
back. Persistence is over here.
Reel me in there. Back to persistence. Something you do. It's it. Persistence is also working towards your habits. What are the habits you have? Are they good habits or not good habits? If they're not so good habits, move away from the habits that aren't working for you and let's go towards the ones that do. Like, I'm not, I don't know what Scott's thing he does every day with his notes, but a good thing to do every day when you get up, put your list to do a to-do list, and you'll be more productive because you can always
I
go back.
got lists for my lists.
I have stacks of lists for my list. Oh my God. I have list after list after list. So, and then it keeps you on track. And what's the most important thing? I do have this week, I have several just mental notes. One, I have to send out information to an event on one of our events to get all the entertainers. And then today I have to pack up for an event for this weekend. Also, I have to work on getting new tires. I've bought them
Are you
yesterday.
too tired?
Yeah, too tired. Willie, I am. I used to be a spokesman. Yeah, I'm treading on that one. I know. I was tired yesterday and I'm tired today. That means I'm retired. Last night I dreamt I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted. It was terrible. I had to yell at my car. I was going, "Ooh," to my car. I was
Okay.
tuning it up.
Okay. So persistence.
Back to persistence. So, something we work on every day or whatever to get where we want to go. And the like, I would say, Scott, seriously, every week you probably work at least some a day, every single day on your business, don't you?
Oh
So,
yeah. It's more like all time, every day. Like almost all the time.
and it pays off, each year for the last 4 or 5 years, your
Well,
your gross income went up over 100,000 each year for the
I
last what?
wouldn't even know what I'd be doing if I wasn't working on it. Like I don't.
Well,
So back to persistence, right? Like,
yeah.
are you writing out your goals? Are you focused on what you want? And are you going to let something shake you from where you're going? Are you going to fall off the line, or if somebody comes along and like nudges you a little bit, or something doesn't go quite your way? I think uh, persistence and resilience need to be, parallel or side by side, because as long as you're still, actively working towards your goal, then you haven't failed unless you quit. And then there was one video I saw that kind of moved me. I don't know if it was like, I don't know, it was a few years ago when I saw this video, and it was just this guy, and he was out in a farm field, and he's like, well, you have to look at your goal. You don't have to, but anyway, he's like, it's probably a good idea to look at your goals as like a toddler. Like if a toddler wants candy, like it's gonna get it, right? Like you can tell them no, you can push them away, but with that playfulness and that resilience and that persistence, toddler's going to get that candy, right? And then if you could just look at whatever your goal is, like a toddler would trying to get candy, then it would probably be more enjoyable. And that's another thing we talk about too in sleight of mouth, right? Like, what's your frame? No one's going to be able to shake you off your frame because you're always pivoting towards whatever that end point is. Whenever you go into a conversation, sleight of mouth is all about being able to redirect somebody or be able to move towards whatever the desired outcome is. Now, if you're unclear about what the desired outcome is, then you won't be able to hit the mark, right? So if you were, like throwing darts, right, and then you hit the board, but you didn't hit the bullseye, you didn't hit your goal. Well, at least you would know you were on the board, and at least you could recorrect to get towards the goal. But if you're just kind of aimlessly out there in the world, not knowing what the end result should be, then you'll never reach it. It's kind of like being in a boat that's just kind of circling around, but not really going anywhere, like a hamster in a hamster wheel. Oh, I'm moving, but you're still in the same spot, right? Like it's good to be active. And at the same time, not to discourage action, because if you're not moving, you're not going to get anywhere. It's better to be moving than it is to be stuck, right? So even if you are spinning in one spot, at least you know, action causes a reaction, right? But if you're not doing anything, then well, then that's the thing you'd probably want to work on first. And just remember, nobody out there in the world is going to be able to get straight to their goal. Um, without learning how to get there. And how do we learn how to get there is by failing, right? Or, course correcting as well. Um, those are a few things to keep in mind. And I had a recent training, and I never really looked at the 80-20 rule quite like the guy explained it. Like I knew it was out there, I knew it was in the world,
I
but
love
I
that.
didn't like I didn't understand it the way this video explained it to me. And I don't know if it's because I've only heard like one or two people explain it to me in their way of understanding. And it's always good to get other coaches to explain phenomenon as they understand it so that you have multiple perspectives because we're all human beings and we all interpret the world through our own definition. But back to the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule says that okay, so the way the guy explained it in the video was that like 20% of your farm will produce 80% of
Profit.
the fruits of the labor, right? Of your fruits, like your farm vegetables, 20% of your farm will produce 80% of your vegetables, right? And then he's like, this law is you can look it up, you can Google it, like
Everywhere.
this is everything.
Everywhere.
Like 20% of drivers, right, will cause 80% of the accidents, something like that. So this law, and maybe it's not an exact number, but this is a rule of thumb, right? And this is a proven fact. I don't know who made it or whatever, but the guy was explaining it. So back to persistence. If you know that 20% of your work is going to produce 80% of your money, wouldn't you want to cut out the other percent that isn't making your money? Right. So if you know that 20% of your work is producing 80% of your money, then you just want to double down on that 20%. And then on top of that, like you could double down even further. Like, okay, so now you've uh, divided it into 20. So then you could take that 20 and divide that into 20 and then just keep going from there. And what does that mean? You're basically cutting off the things that aren't going to produce for you, or you'd want to double down on the things that are going to produce for you. And then you end up hiring people that handle the work that would just take up your time, where you can double down on the 20% that produces for you. So back to persistence, you could get to your goal faster by learning what it takes to get to that goal faster and then spending most of your time doing that versus the things that are just taking up your time. So just bringing that to your realization, I've talked to many people and they're like, oh, I've tried everything that I can and I don't know what to do, or it's impossible, right? Well, I guess the first step would be knowing that, get off whatever your soapbox and say, and if you just look back and be like, okay, what don't I know? What am I not understanding? Like, it's not like it hasn't been done before. These other people have done it. So, and then it's like, well, are you focused on it every single day? Are you working towards it every single day? Are you calculating, what hasn't worked for you? I mean, again, having an NLP coach or something like that, because sometimes we get stuck in our own loops and keep making the same mistakes. And it's kind of like, well, the definition of insanity is repeating the same things and accepting different results. So are you doing different results? Are you expanding your mind? Are you doubling down on your 2080? And just a few things to think about, right? So these are what high achievers, do. Like, okay, how can I, because we all have 24 hours in a day, right? Like, so how can, it's kind of like automation. Like, how can I set this thing to go automate it instead of me manually handling it? So, well, that's automated. I can go do this. And then once I have that machine figured out, I'll automate that. Now let me go to the next thing. So it's kind of like, what processes can you put into play so that you can get to your goal faster? Because it's all about time. How can you speed that shit up? Because
It
I
all
have
goes back to time, I think.
zero
Especially
patience I have, but I do have persistence and I do have resilience.
in life, you can always make more money, you can always get more things, but you cannot get more time. Uh, the thought is that's one thing that is the most important. And one day, everyone's going to figure out their time, what it's worth. Right now, people aren't understanding how much time is really worth. But the people who get older, like me, and when we get older, we start understanding time is fading away. And what do we want to do with the rest of our time? So even when you're younger, it's good to, think about the time and what are you doing with your time, because it it goes faster as you go older, and you get less of it as you go older. And what are you doing with your time? Is it valuable? Is it helping your life or taking away? And I always say, find the positive. And I'm glad you did mention, I was going to mention it too, is insanity. It's like when you said the hamster going in a circle, at least he's in motion. But what we do for Scott and I, a lot of times we go, how is that working for you? Now, if you're on that hamster wheel and you're just going in circle and circle and circle and circle, after a while, just think about it. Is this serving me any purpose? Is it helping me? Or am I just doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result? Then this is what's then we go to threshold. When are you ready to do something else? When is that hamster wheel not working for you anymore? And you go, ah, how's that working for you? It's not. So we get off the hamster wheel, we're still in motion, and we go in a different direction. Now, earlier Scott said, and we know that it's a mistake, and yet it's not. And we know that too. It's a learning experience. Everything you learn helps you learn something else. And then with the purpose, when you find a purpose or a meaning, you can go towards what you want and move away from what you want. That's how we get better goals, and the goals that's not serving you, the things you do in your life that's bringing your life down. That could be drinking, not getting enough rest. That could be wasting time on something that's not doing you any benefit. Uh, so when we move away from that kind of stuff towards the things that's going to help our life. And then what that was so great bringing the 20-80-20 rule, because 20% of our efforts get 80% of our whatever we're looking for. So if we can figure out what that 20%, what we're doing, and work on that more, and let the other 80% either get somebody else to do it or understand it, because it's the same way in almost all across the board, because 20% of the people your business is usually uh, the top ones. The big events are giving you the most money, and the little events are giving you the least. So what we want to do in business is work on the ones and pay more attention to the ones that's bringing in 5, 10, 20,000 a year, instead of worrying about the one that brings in $200 a year, and move towards what's really bringing in the money. And then working with the people, what you find who works with you, and you don't have to spend 80% of your effort with them. You only need to spend 10%. So find the people. In finding your tribe is also finding the ones you don't have to waste your time on, because at the end of the day, even persistence great, but time is the only thing you cannot get more of. So really think about time. I know we went off subject, but it's so important, time, because you only have so much time before you die. And building your business and what are you doing today to have something tomorrow? Like what I did when I was younger, I put money in the stock market, and I actually lost $40,000 in 2008 when the crash came. And my financial advisor freaked out and didn't do right. So I fired that one, got a different one. But so uh, even though you make those mistakes, you find out. I told you I bought a lot of comics one time, spent a lot of money on it, but it gave me, I learned how to use credit cards. Everything is a learning experience. Then, like we said right there, that 80-20 rule is, what efforts are you putting and what are they giving back? And a lot of people are putting effort where it's doing no good. And then when you can filter it down to that 20%, what's doing the best for you, you can start living your life like that. That's even in the morning when you write, we both write down stuff we're going to do for today, and you have more productivity. And but persistence, again, Scott gets up every day and works, and so do I, on whatever is important to us. What are you doing each and every day to get to where you want to be, whatever that goals are, or what's important to you? And We can't tell you what's important to you. You have to figure that out, right?
Yeah. So that would be a self-concept like evaluation, going over your values and what the goal is, or maybe the well-formed outcome that we have on the
Right.
channel as well. Some videos to check out. But yeah, persistence, right? Like write out your goals and give yourself a deadline. You know what the funniest thing was? Like I wrote down a goal and I wrote down the calendar. I will have X done by this date. I actually had it done a month earlier. And I should do that more often. Like I've only done it once and it worked. Because we pretty much explained that like if it's in your mind, then it's just fantasy. When you write it on a paper, that's the first time to bring it out to reality. And another thing too, like if your goal is 5, 10 years, like are you celebrating your wins or are you marking down like what the journey is to get to that goal? Like how is that going to happen? Like, for instance, my goal was to be a presenter at the conventions, and it's like, well, if you don't have any YouTube channel, or if you're not, have some sort of value to give to somebody, like, what makes you think you could be on stage, right? Because there's, we'll say some younger people that have entered the DJ company think they're going to be a DJ like in the next 6 months or so when they haven't done any work, like, and it's like, well, they look to me like, oh, put me on the show, make me a DJ, like, are you any good? Like, I can't, like, have you been practicing? Like, like, I asked the guy to, uh, I asked the guy to shut off a microphone and something else. It was like two commands, and then he shut the music off before he even got to anything else. I'm like, why the hell did you shut the music off? I just asked you to shut the microphone off. So yeah, you're further away from DJing than what you think you are, and I don't know. I find a lot of maybe I'm just attuned to it, but some people that think they're further along than what they are, and then you also want to self-check yourself. Like, are you, prepared for whatever it is that you're asking for, and can you handle it if you did get it right? So I guess in 2020, I was like, I wanted to build my own business, but if that would have be flopped on my plate overnight, then I probably wouldn't have deserved it, right? Like I wouldn't have had the system set up. I wouldn't know how to, handle. Certain personalities. I didn't have as much emotional intelligence as I do today, or what to do when it comes to basically anything like marketing or like if I had a ton of clients overnight, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to handle them. So maybe your goal is worth the journey so that you can have what it takes to handle it once you got to it. That's my that's my stance, and I'm sticking to it.
Good job, man.
So anything you don't have today, maybe you don't have it for a reason.
Right.
And not that you can't get it, it's just that you're not ready for it yet.
Build it, they will come, right?
Yeah, how bad do you want it? And then maybe you don't understand how much it does take to make that happen. But when you do, and then you talk to people that haven't walked your path and don't understand what it takes, but they're all backseat drivers, or what do they call them? Couch coaches, something like that. They're going to tell you all this stuff that they haven't done. That's the thing that boils my skin the most. I probably talk about it more than I should. People that think they know what it takes when they haven't done it. I, I think that burned me the most in my learning experiences, taking advice from people that sounded really convincing, but they had no trophies. So I don't know, like, why I would follow advice from somebody who hadn't done what I was looking to do. But everybody's got an opinion. So and even family means well, right? But if they haven't done it, and if they're not teaching you or telling you, if family's not telling you to go seek advice from someone who's done it, then anything else is probably like well wishes that it'll just end up bad. And that was a lesson that I learned really hard. That was a hard lesson to learn.
Another thing right there is to throw in is just because somebody else can do something doesn't mean you can. You got to figure out, are you willing? So if they tell you what they did, are you willing to do the work they did? Okay.
Oh, and also
And
another thing, it
also,
wouldn't it wouldn't be the same when you did it because it would be your recreation of it.
right, your own map of the world and how, I mean, just because Scott can sell sell a big program here or there or whenever he's doing it doesn't mean you can do it until you learn. And you will never be Scott, and I'll never be Scott, but you'll never be me. So figure out who you are and what your potential, work on your potential every day to become what you want to be, because nobody can be you and you can't be anybody else. So I do love the line say, be yourself because everyone else is taken. So, uh, and sometimes you see like a Tony Robbins and you think, oh, I could be a Tony Robbins. No, you can't. You can be a form of a speaker and stuff, but there's only one Tony Robbins. There's only one, whatever, because you have to be who you are doing it. So you can take his model and work with the model that he's got and work, you got to
Doesn't mean
achieve
you can't
things.
use totems.
Huh?
Doesn't mean you can't use totems. Basically, when I touch my hat, it's like it's the same hat Tony Robbins would wear. So whenever I go into a situation where I need my Tony Robbins persona, like
Right.
just the hat, here you go. And if you watch Tony Robbins on stage, and I haven't seen this, but this is what other NLP people have noticed. He has his own triggers too. It's like so it's like you touch a hat, and this is called a totem, and then the other ones are anchor points, right? So Tony Robbins has one where he does this and that activates whatever state he wants to intensify. I guess that's a trigger too, and you use that in hypnosis where if you don't have to worry about anything right now. In fact, you're just going to get better every time I snap fingers, and you don't have to think about getting better. I guess we could do hypnosis things next time, right? Hypnosis tricks, anchoring, mind mapping, whatever works. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. I haven't talked about hypnosis in a while, or NLP, or anything like that. I actually had to use a lot of NLP yesterday, or hypnosis. I think it was. I don't know. They're one and the same to me. But basically, I got some information that I didn't like, and I had to. Well, here's something. If you get something that you don't like and it makes you mad, well, can you make it worse? Can you get madder? If it's a 5, can you bring it to 10? Well, if you can, congratulations. That means you own that feeling. And then you can get rid of it too.
Think about what he
So
just said, everyone. Everybody just think about what he said because he says, why are you bringing it? Why are you bringing it where it's stronger? Because if you can bring it where it's stronger, you can also take it away. So a lot of people, a real emotion only lasts like 90 seconds, a minute and a half. Then you loop it and do it again. So, but most all feelings, all emotions only last a minute and a half, and that's and you choose to keep on looping it, but you could choose to calm down by just taking 3 deep breaths, or doing 7-11 breathing, or just disassociating for a moment and saying, is this true, is it really true? Basically so many little things.
is your mind wandering crazy in areas it shouldn't be?
Bring it back, focus.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I was like, my mind went on all this, like, like I don't get this kind of information often, and then to come find out, the information I got was illegitimate. The person that was texting me thought it was somebody else. So I was running all this crazy. Oh, I was like, oh, okay, so whatever. So you could be putting yourself in a tizzy for no
Right.
reason.
Well, a lot of times people say, you hear this, you make me feel like this, you make me feel like that. And truly, no one can really make you feel any way unless you let them, because you do have a choice to put your hand up and just, I don't have to take this, go ahead and say what you want, but it doesn't have to affect me. This is where we really want you to get. They're like, Scott, if someone says you shouldn't be doing what you want, he says, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I am not working on hurting you.
Okay, so even if it does boil you up, be conscious of it because feelings. I mean, you're allowed to have whatever feelings you want
Yeah,
to have.
nothing
But
wrong with
you could be
feelings.
Yeah, and you can just own those. So like, okay, well, this used to boil me up, or this feeling's coming on, let me walk away, or it, probably, this is something that I've learned is that a lot of people want to shut it out. Like, and that's like the worst because it just wants to come back in, right? Accept it, understand what it's trying to tell you, and
And
then
let
move
it free.
forward.
Let it go.
And then keep going.
So that's what I'm saying. A minute and a half. Own that. Own that feeling for a minute and a half and decide, is this the feeling you want to have again, or do you want to go back into that loop, or do you want to bring it down?
Or why is that feeling there? Like, okay, what are you trying to
Well,
tell me? Like, okay,
well, because
now that you,
all emotions are good for you. All emotions are real, and they're telling you something. Because it's sort of like pain. It tells you that there's something, something you need to be aware of. And a lot of times when you're angry, it's because you feel hurt. Somebody's hurting you, or feeling that they're not being fair to you. So, uh, because you want to be aware of those things, and yet, like somebody said the other day, there this person told them they couldn't do something, and because they didn't want them to do it, and I'm like, well, who cares what they want? you know be yourself. If you want to do that, go ahead and do it. I mean, just because they're trying to control you doesn't mean they have to. You don't have to bow down to everyone. Again, we go, and if you only do what everybody else wants you to do, you'll never do what you want to do. Now, everything's got,
because everybody else knows what's better for you than you, right?
right. Uh, uh, uh. That's why we want you to be strong in yourself and know who you are and do what's right for you and the people around you the best you can, and have the best life you can, and be persistent. What do you want to do, and keep at it. Don't let uh, Work on not letting other people take away your dreams, whatever they are, because just because, half the inventions in the world, or somebody told them they couldn't do it and they did it.
I'll show you.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
there you
Well,
go.
sweet. I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think we'll do more like hypnosis next week.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Fun, fun,
Come
fun.
with us on a hypnotic journey. All right. All right. You guys been great. I will catch you on the next one.